everyone, and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the MLB DFS Core Pick video, Core Pick live stream for today, Monday, May 29th. Going to be a little bit smaller slate today, earlier start since it is the holiday of Memorial Day here. So first of all, like to send a special shout out to everyone that has served, actively served, lost their life in combat and everything else like that. Definitely remember what this holiday is for at this point in time. But without further ado, we'll get into it. So for today's video, no recap since there hasn't been a video since Friday. Going to be talking a little bit of weather spots for today. It really looks like just the only one for today that has some potential weather is going to be that Cleveland and Baltimore game for the 6-game main slate. And then with that being said, just going to jump right into the core picks for today. Going to keep this video short and sweet. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the live chat if you're watching live. If you're watching on replay, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I'll get starting lineups out there too as well. If anything changes weather-wise before the slate starts, we'll have that there as well. If anything changes with the core picks that I do have at this point in time, we'll leave an updated pinned comment there as well. But without further ado, we'll get started with the core picks that I do have today. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. But what I typically do here is I highlight a pitcher that I like. I highlight 4 batters that have decent history in the past or that I like in general. You do not have to play all 5 of these guys together, but definitely kind of mix and match there, especially on the 6-game main slate today. I think at the pitcher position, there's probably 3 or 4 guys I would be interested in general for the most part today. But with that being said, the most optimal one in my mind is going to be Sonny Gray today at $10,200. He's going against the Houston Astros today. He has decent history versus them in the past outside of Jose Altuve. Altuve left the game a couple days ago, I believe it was some type of illness actually. So we'll see what that all looks like going forward. But Sonny Gray had 61 points in his start versus Houston earlier this season. You see he's averaging, about 33 fantasy points per game. He's pitching really well with that 1.82 ERA, 4 wins on the season. Obviously, he was our core pick the last time he pitched, only got 27 points there. But for the most part this season, he's been very excellent. So definitely do like the upside that he does present today. If you want to go all the way up to Nathan Eovaldi at $11,200, does make some sense there. If you want to take a chance at Taj Bradley at $9,900 against the Cubs, could be some upside there. And then JP France, who is in the bottom half of my cheat sheet, going against the Minnesota Twins. He's had 3 starts over 30 points so far in his brief major league career. And going against the Twins today, he is a team, that does strike out quite a bit. So there could be some upside there as well. So both pitchers in this game is going to look pretty good. So probably avoiding the bats in the Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins today. But if you want to get a little bit contrarian, that could be a different way to go as well. So then we move down to our hitters. So we got Ryan McMahon. You can play him at second base. You can play him at third base. He's $2,600. And when you're talking about somebody that's crushing the ball as of late these past couple of games, definitely here in Ryan McMahon. On the season in total, it's not been the prettiest. 227 average, 6 home runs, 23 RBIs, over 9 fantasy points per game. But at this point in time, he should not be $2,600. If you look at the past 3 games, he's got up over 20 points in all 3 of them. Obviously, he had a home run in all 3. So ran a little bit of good history here. He's going against Ryan Nelson, who's had a very, very hit or miss start to the season for the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's no history there in the past since Nelson has not pitched against the Rockies before. So that is something to keep in mind. But 4-game hitting streak for Ryan McMahon. 3 of those games he does have a home run, and 3 of those games are multi-hit games. So $2,600, definitely do like the value that does present today. Then at third base, we're going to go with Jose Ramirez here. He is 2 for 2 with 1 home run in his career versus Tyler Wells. Obviously, we need to keep an eye on the weather in Baltimore today. This is a pick that could very much change at that point in time. If you want to swap over to like a Nolan Arenado in that case, saves you $100 going against the Kansas City Royals. A little bit of bullpen, a game there where Josh Stoma is the opener, followed by Mike Mayers, who's kind of hit or miss when he's being stretched out at the major league level. But with that being said, Jose Ramirez averaging about 11 fantasy points per game on the season, $3,500, 269 average, 6 home runs, 26 RBIs. It's been a little bit more of a hit or miss year for him. Obviously, came back recently from the bereavement list and everything else like that. But he's got this 3-game hitting streak going on right now. 2 of those games are multi-hit games. So there's a little bit upside to be had there. Like I said, going against Tyler Wells, who he is 2 for 2 with 1 home run against in his career. So there's some pretty decent upside to be had there as well. Then we keep moving down. We got the outfield. We got Charlie Blackmon at $2,900. He's hitting leadoff, most likely for them once again. Another matchup against Ryan Nelson, so there's no career history there before. But Charlie Blackmon on the season, 283 average, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs, average about 10 fantasy points per game at $2,900, presents a pretty good value today. He is on believe a 9-game hitting streak. Let me check my notes here too as well. So at this point in time, it's a 9-game hitting streak for him, and he's hit safely in 16 of his last 17 games. So one of the stronger hitters as of late for Charlie Blackmon. Definitely has some pretty strong upside there once again today. And then last but not least, we have Robbie Grossman down here. He's $2,900, probably a little bit more than I would like to pay for him in general, but same time, not too hefty of a price tag. He's got that 236 average, 5 home runs, 26 RBIs on the season, over 9 fantasy points per game. So not a bad option here. But the main thing that we're really looking at today with him is the career history versus Matthew Boyd. He's 8 for 28 with 2 home runs in the past. So some pretty decent history to be had there. Not too many guys with a lot of history on today's slate. Just in general, he's got that 3-game hitting streak that he's on. So does definitely offer some upside. Obviously, we're looking for that home run out of him today. So that's kind of where I'm at in terms of core picks for today. Also be very interested in hearing what you guys have as kind of your favorite play, your favorite pick for today on the 6-game main slate. Definitely a lot of different ways that we can approach it, mix and match in some different stacks, everything else like that. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $12,900, just over $3,200 remaining per player. So a good amount of money to mix and match if you want to go that way. Or if you want to take a little bit more balanced approach, that's definitely fine on tonight's slate as well. But with that being said, we're going to stop sharing this screen. We're going to go over to the YouTube community tab and talk about the cheat today, excuse me. So the cheat sheet that I do have for today, the top stacks down at the very bottom of this cheat sheet. So it is loading here. So give me a minute as we kind of try to talk through this. Computer's moving a little bit slower today. But these are the 5 teams that I kind of like in general for stacking purposes for today. So we have the Texas Rangers. They're going against Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd has not been their greatest pitcher this season. Last year, once upon a time, he was a little bit better, struck out a lot of batters and everything else like that. Not too much history here versus the Rangers. The guys that have hit him pretty well in the past, though, Robbie Grossman, number 1. Mitch Garver's number 2. He's 5 for 15 with 2 home runs versus him. There is a chance that he could be activated off the IL today, so it could be an interesting play there. We'll see if he's back or not. And then obviously we have to make sure that he's in the starting lineup. And then the rest of the team doesn't have too much history versus him, so there is opportunities to be had there. Diamondbacks going against Carl Kaufman of the Colorado Rockies, making his 3rd career start. Wasn't too good in AAA, hasn't been too good in the major leagues so far. So definitely a team that I like stacking once again today. Then we have the St. Louis Cardinals once again going against the Kansas City Royals. Josh Stoneman will be the opener for them. He hasn't pitched too well as of late. He will be followed by Mike Mayers, who had a pretty strong appearance last time out, but when he stretched out in his major league career, he's had a lot of decent appearances. He's had a lot of kind of mediocre performances as well. So it's kind of a little bit hit or miss with him. But do like the Cardinals there. Nolan Arenado is the one that sticks out the most because he has a home run, I believe, versus Salmon, and then 1 for 3 versus Mike Mayers as well. There's not too much history versus Mayers, so could be an interesting spot there. Like I said, a little bit hit or miss there, but do like the Cardinals once again today. Tampa Bay Rays actually have hit Marcus Stroman pretty well in the past. So Stroman's pitching extremely well. He's kind of one of those guys today. If you want to be a little bit contrarian, maybe go with the Rays. Maybe if you want to be a little bit contrarian, you'll go to Stroman. Really just comes down to what the ownership looks like today, just in general. And then last but not least, we have the Colorado Rockies going against Ryan Nelson. Highlighted 2 of their hitters in my core picks. They have no career history versus Ryan Nelson. Been an up and down season for him. Starting to pitch a little bit better as of late, but still opportunities to be had here for this Rockies team overall. But with that being said, that's pretty much what I do have for today's video. I want to keep it short, sweet, keep you guys on point in terms of holiday, give you guys some time there. But the slate does start a little bit earlier today, so trying to get this out there as quickly as possible. If you guys do have any additional questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. Definitely interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Also very interested in hearing who your favorite pick, your favorite player is for today's slate in general. Like I said, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop them down there. We'll be listing any weather updates that do change before we get to lock. We'll be trying to get as many starting lineups down there as well in the comments. So definitely be sure you check on that as we get closer to lock. But as always, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Definitely do appreciate it. Hopefully you found this information pretty informative and helping you out just in general. Cheat sheet is 100% free. It's up on Facebook. It's up on Twitter. It's up on the YouTube community tab. Definitely a great reference point when starting. Go over to Patreon, patreon.com/Coach Greg Sports. Small monthly donation over there ends up being about 25 cents per day. So Monday through Friday, get a couple of extra additional notes over there in terms of hitter versus pitcher matchups, in terms of my thoughts on the pitchers today, some background on them and everything else like that. Also, be sure to check out Daily Stat Jocks over there. Woody and his model is doing extremely well as of late. Very good for MLB prop betting, very good for kind of ownership and everything else like that in terms of projections. So definitely be sure to check that out. Very great value over there. Does do some NBA and WNBA as well. But with that being said, that's pretty much all that I do have at this point in time. Definitely do appreciate everyone that is taking the time out of their day, whether you're watching live or on replay. Definitely means a lot to me. Hopefully, each and every one of you have a great rest of your day. Like I said, if you're checking out for the very first time, would appreciate it if you do subscribe. And then at the same time, turn on your notifications so you never miss a beat. Do go live Monday through Friday for the DFS core pick videos. We'll be having some additional content here and there as well, but mainly focusing on MLB and USFL DFS at this point in time. But with that being said, that's really all that I do have for today. Once again, do truly appreciate everyone taking the time out of their day to tune in, whether you're watching live or on replay. Hopefully, each and every one of you have a great rest of your day, a pretty good holiday, and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS today.